Alright, I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to make some ABS slurry to try to fix my panels. After doing a bunch of research, I think that this might be a winner. I've got some chunks of old plastics. Drop those into this jar and pour some acetone in there and wait a few hours, or check back on it every now and then and see how it's doing. But supposedly this should melt it and make like a slurry, like a glue. So I don't know, I filled that about halfway and I got a bunch of chunks in there, and we'll come back in a little while and see what it looks like. It is 4:15 right now. I just put it in there, so I'm gonna come back at 5:15 and see what we've got. Okay, so it's been about an hour and it's definitely doing something. Let's open it up and take a look. Okay, well, you can see how cloudy it is. It's definitely getting soft. I think next time I'll break it into smaller chunks. I forgot about that part because somebody did suggest that, but it is definitely melting. We'll come back in another hour and see what we got. Okay, here's after 2 hours. It's getting pretty soft now. I mean, it fell in there, so let's give it another hour and see what happens. I may have to add more. It may not get thick enough. We shall see. Alright, y'all, I'm going to try something different. We're going to brush on some acetone and then use some Gorilla Tape as a clamp to hold it together and see if that glues it together. If it holds it, I'm then going to use a slurry that I made with some ABS and acetone to kind of coat the backside to put an extra layer on there. So let's see how this works. By the way, I have tons of fans running. I've got windows open, and I'm really just using a very little bit on a paintbrush here. So we're gonna brush it all in on this crack here. Let's flip her over and do a little bit on this side. Try to get it everywhere on there. And let's close this up so that we're not getting tons of fumes. Let's see here. It takes a minute for it to get tacky. Pull off a piece of tape, because that's how we're gonna clamp her together, basically. Now this is experimental on my part, but I did watch a video of another guy doing it and it appeared to work, so let's just see what happens. Okay, I kind of got that clamped together. I'm going to brush a little bit more onto the backside and then just let it sit for a little while and let the acetone do its work. Theoretically, it causes a chemical reaction where as it evaporates off, it kind of melts, and it's almost like welding the ABS together, theoretically. We're going to find out if it works, though. Always make sure this is closed. We'll just put some right over here. I can actually see where a reaction is happening already. Now that doesn't mean it's going to hold it together, but we shall find out. I'll be back in just a little bit and we'll see if it held it together. All right, so it did hold it together, and at least a little bit. I don't know how permanent it'll be, but I've got this this slurry I made. It's kind of like a glue. I'm gonna brush some of that onto the backside. Just see if it'll penetrate and hold. Not really. So I've got a good amount on there. I did a small coat right before I turned the camera on because I forgot to push record. So you missed the first little coat. But there we go. There's a little coat on that side. I don't know. Just for posterity, let's flip it over and do a little coat on this side too. Why not, right? I have no idea what I'm doing or if it's going to work, so stir this stuff up and put a little coat on this side. And the idea is it's kind of filling in that crack. I don't know how well it's doing that or not, but that's the idea anyway. Hopefully my ventilation in here is good enough. Wouldn't want me to pass out on you. All right, so let's see what that does. Let's give it a couple hours and come back to it and see what we got. All right, y'all. Let's pull this tape off and see what we've got. I mean, it seems pretty good so far, but let's find out. See how this turned out. Well, I'd call that a success. Where the tape was, we're gonna have to do some more gluing, but from here on down, that's good. So I'm gonna slather this with some of that concoction, and I mean, it's solid. Let's give it another little coat though. Well, you guys, I'm out here test fitting some panels, and I tell you what, the acetone ABS slurry seems to have worked really well in holding this panel together. I have yet to completely sand it and whatnot, but I keep dropping them and banging them around, and it's not re-cracking, so I think we're good. Right now I'm just trying to get things to fit up proper before I sand and paint. And stick with me and I'll show you this thing come together.